aspect of the character stories, and in many ways, that came out of our desire to tell stories more from the character's perspective. I mean, we've done 300 and something episodes of Stargate, and you know, when you're sitting around the writer's room, it's, you know, you do end up saying, yeah, no, we've done that one before, yeah, we've done that one before. But what's new and what's fresh is seeing certain experiences from these characters' points of view, and that's how we've approached this show. And so in many ways, the serialization is going to come from what's happening to them on a week-to-week basis. Hopefully, what will keep you coming back as a viewer is saying, well, I can't wait to see what, you know, Dr. Rush does this week, as opposed to maybe what the specific adventure is.
And the other fun thing about these characters is that not all these folks, in fact, none of these folks are supposed to be where they are in the series. They were supposed to be evacuating back to Earth, as you got hints of in the trailer. So that's enabled us to put characters together in a Stargate milieu that wouldn't, in any normal circumstance, be on another planet or on another part of the universe. When they knocked on Eli's door in the trailer, and that's how he got there.
The other thing that I think that I think I can tell you is that big things are going to happen very quickly. That in terms of what happens and what unfolds in the show, even in the first 10 episodes, Brad and I are not big fans of shows that sort of have one little story that they're going to try and stretch out over 7 seasons. And so you're going to find that, you know, if you do skip an episode, you might miss something huge, that there will be major revelations in terms of what's going on with these characters and the storylines. I think, in fact, you might be surprised at some of the major changes and shakeups that happen as we go along, even in the first 10.
Great.
Okay, I'm one of the 7 people.
And you're still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
That's fine, you're welcome.
Because I have everything that Mr. Carlisle has made, I think. My favorite being Hamish. And my question was, what drew you to this role specifically with Stargate?
Great question. Great question.
Well, I mean, I guess it's just a personal story. I mean, last year, in the summertime, I sort of went to Los Angeles and I was kind of looking for something different, to be honest with you. I was looking to do something different. The film industry back in Britain well, I mean, it is kind of struggling, to be perfectly honest with you. And I was looking for something, a different challenge, something fresh. And when this came up, it was completely, to use an American expression, it was completely left field for me. It was completely from nowhere. And I didn't, to be honest, I didn't know that much about Stargate. I mean, I knew it was there, I knew that it existed. But through chatting with Robert and Brad, it was obvious that what they were, I mean, as Robert had said earlier, my first reaction was, why the hell do you want me to do this? But through the conversations that we had, and then looking at the scripts that they sent me, I began to understand what they were trying to do, that this is very much a character-driven piece, and they were looking for someone who could maybe do that. One of the things I thought was quite interesting that Brad, I think it was Brad said to me, he said they were looking for someone that could make dislikable things quite likeable. I thought, I'm your man for that. So that's what kind of drew me to it was really the spirit of these 2 guys here and what they put on the plate.
Next.
My question is for Brad and Robert. Brad, you've lost some hair, looks like. I know, just kidding. My question is...
He's very sensitive about it.
My question is... My question is, since the new premise of the show is going to be spreading out across the universe in this rock and roll ship. Are we finally going to see a lot more non-Java, non-English speaking aliens out there?
Well, I mean, the first thing we did was make a blood pact. That we would not have, rubber-faced English-speaking aliens in the first season. I think it was the first season we created.
We said rubber, but
rubber's a long time. Yeah. We really wanted a universe because it takes place out on the frontier. You know, it's about exploring the universe, the galaxies that we've never been to, and we really wanted that experience to be to feel somewhat realistic. Find aliens or alien life forms that you feel like you might actually find out in space. And there was a rationale for having human beings in the Pegasus and Milky Way galaxies in our mythology. They were kidnapped from Earth. They were taken to those planets. So in a way, it was there was an explanation built into Stargate as to why there were humans or human-like people on other planets. So in Universe, we're having in the first season, there's some very, very sort of aliens, it's entirely CG and certainly non-human.
Lots of. I mean, we do encounter aliens, but they don't say things to us in ways that the Wraith would or the Gould would. And it also comes from a desire. When we said to each other, we wanted to be much more character-driven. In SG-1 and Atlantis, our characters, we had a very difficult time when our characters came up against each other because there was the Gould out there. Well, you can't be petty. This little arguing between each other doesn't make any sense. We've got a big enemy out there to fight. In Universe, all of our characters are both heroes and villains, and have remarkably, because of their ability to perform, been able to slip in and out of the skin of both, and it's really fun to watch and really interesting for us to write and to watch it evolve. And it's still very, very much of a science fiction milieu. We're aboard an ancient ship that's a beautiful place to explore and stunning, built by our production designer James Robbins. I think it's his best work, and I think it's as a set the best set I've ever been associated with. It's very it's just stunning. And there's still a Stargate, and we're still going to go through that Stargate and have adventures and meet alien races. They're just not going to try to suck the life force out of us as they do it.
Hi, this question is...
Wait a second. Bobby was just going to add to that.
I just wanted to add to that, to what Brad was saying, that in my experience, the only similarity for me was the Bond sets that I've worked on. It's that good. The workmanship, the craftsmanship, and the sets are just absolutely stunning. And it films beautifully, photographs beautifully, works incredibly well as a set. And it really is. It's like a major budget feature set.